Hi there, I'm Chris Herman, President and CEO of the Herman Agency, and also host of the On Deck with Chris Herman podcast. And I wanted to take a moment to share some things about our podcast, and more specifically our podcast studio, that I think might be beneficial for you. You know, a year and a half, almost going back to the beginning of COVID is when we first started thinking about and making plans to create and host a podcast here at the agency. And, you know, the goal, there was a number of goals, but primarily one, wanted to have meaningful conversations with interesting people, primarily in the creative marketing and advertising fields, also our clients, which happen to be largely retail automotive. So we wanted to use this as an opportunity to have interesting conversations, but ultimately, and of course, the podcast and promoting the podcast is a way for us to share our business, to tell our business story in a way that's different and hopefully attract attention to ourselves and ultimately get more business, which thus far, that has been working. The feedback that we've gotten on the podcast has been really great. And it's led us and myself to think of some interesting ways that this podcast facility can be helpful to other businesses here in South Florida. If you look right here, this is our podcast studio. It used to be one of our conference rooms here at the agency, but we turned it into the studio. And what I was thinking over the last period of time is, with the increase in demand and desire for podcasts and the effectiveness that they can bring in terms of communicating your business story, well, chances are there's a lot of businesses here in South Florida that would love to do a podcast to talk about their business and share their business story. But perhaps if that is the case and you are somebody that has those thoughts yourself, you might think, well, don't necessarily have the time or the resources, don't know how to set up the studio. Actually getting into the whole thing, you know, can perhaps seem a little bit overwhelming to those who would actually feel the need or desire to have their own podcast. So what I'm saying is our studio can be your studio. If you have the desire to host your own podcast, but don't want to contribute or dedicate the resources or time to actually building out the studio, feel free to come and use ours. Of course, we'd have to work out some type of fee to do it. We're still working on that, but this is more of an introductory to say, hey, this studio can be yours to film your own content. So come on inside, show you what we've got here. This is where we host have On Deck, right here in this room. It's a small little room, well lit. We've got 3 cameras that are running at all times so that we can do a 3-camera edit so you can see yourself, your guests, and the two of you at the same time. This is the actual table where we have the conversations from. This is my spot right here. We've got top of the line Shure microphones. You could come in and change the decor on the table, get rid of the guitar to customize the look to some degree for your business. But more importantly, you can know that you've got a really high quality, welcoming studio to be able to have your own podcast. And why would that be beneficial to your business? Well, perhaps if you're a larger company and you wanted to share some company initiatives in a more contemporary way, perhaps you come in and film 3, 4, 5 different podcast episodes where you talk to different key employees in your company about specific initiatives. Or you might have a new business that you're starting that you want to have your own guests on. Whatever it might be, podcasts, we all know how popular they are and how important they are in terms of the media landscape and communicating yourself. And not to belabor the point, but if you'd like to do a podcast, but you need the space, you need the equipment, you need the facility to do so, you're welcome to do it right here at the Herman Agency, where we have produced almost 50 episodes of On Deck with me, Chris Herman. So that's my message of the day. I look forward to being able to speak to you about helping your company promote your business through a podcast right here in our studio. Thanks so much. Have a great day.